Alright everyone, it's time for Occult Literature, video number 234, Abaddon and Manahaim. This is 167 pages long. This is a more full-length work. Now, very interesting work as well. It's from a Protestant Christian perspective, keep that in mind, but it's still of use to occultists, and I'll explain why. Link in the description to my edition of this work on Amazon. Second and third links, of course, to my books blogs as well. This particular work is of great interest because of its coverage of demons, mostly, as well as the devil. That's the basic premise of this work. Even the subtitle deals with demons and angels. The author, from a Reformed, formerly Moravian perspective, which I'm not sure exactly what Moravian Church specifically is. It's part of the overarching umbrella of the German Reformed Church movement. This particular work talks about the nature of the devil, from a biblical perspective, of course. Although it does drag in some extra-canonical work, opinions by other Christian authors, a little bit of the Old Testament, sort of the strictly Jewish material as well. The nature of demons, how they possess, how they operate, the nature of the afterlife, the existence of hell, and also the nature of angels. For instance, the debate over what Archangel Michael represents. Some churches at various times have proposed that that particular figure mentioned is actually also Jesus. He refutes that here. Others would say that Michael is not the opposite. The devil's not the opposite of God, but rather of Michael, which is, from my own personal opinion, if I were a Christian, I would believe that too, based on scriptural evidence and interpretation. So it's a very interesting work. For those that are within the occult, of course, demonology in any form is always of interest. You don't have to accept it as is, as being, well, this is correct, this is the way demons work. Some people, especially Christians, they think that if anyone is outside of Christendom, like they're a devil worshiper, like, you deny Jesus, therefore you worship the devil. There are plenty of people who don't believe in demons after the Christian sense at all. There are Satanists that don't as well. Me being a former Satanist, not a current one. As a pagan, I look at these figures and I see a mix, like a hodgepodge of pagan figures that have been turned evil, non-existent figures, and then various, like, just general spirits and stuff from sort of early Jewish lore that in some cases are rooted in Babylon and again are pagan. And that's basically what I see. That I still like to read anything about the devil. It's a fascinating subject. What other being throughout history other than, the Christian God really is used as a backbone of Western civilization? Rumination over the nature and sort of the life and times of the devil really informs Western civilization. So everyone should learn about it. Part of that means delving into a specifically Protestant Christian perspective with regards to some of these topics. Philosophically, we must. If we're going to be Enlightenment era pagans, Enlightenment style occultists, we have to delve into that. Keeping in mind, of course, most of those people, even delving into magic and paganism at the time, were marginally Christian in nature, which is very interesting. So again, link in the description to my edition of this work. For those of you who are more into the occult side, like you're not really Christian in like the church-going sense, still very much of interest. At the very least, it's formulated in a coherent and logical manner, even if you look at the basis, which is mostly the Bible, and you say, well, that's not logical. But as far as using that as a basis to talk about these subjects, it is. So it's well written. And also, at times, really quickly here, he does wax emotional. He's like, oh, well, praise Jesus, praise Jesus for this divine revelation. That gets a little bit old at times during the work, but he tries to keep it to a minimum. Again, though, link in the description of my edition of this work, again, on Amazon. Second and third links to my books, blogs. I do have other Christian materials available there, mostly under the religion and scripture heading. I think there's a little bit of it under mysticism as well. That's about all. Peace out.